to the Rockford Circle. I'm Chitrangada Singh. My guest today in this hallowed circle of trust is as sharp as the razors he makes. His cologne of choice is smell of success. And there is no trimming his company's valuation. The man whose maiden venture made grooming for men cool in India. The founder and the CEO of the Bombay shaving company, Shantanu Deshpande. Hi, Shantanu. Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome
Thank you so much.
to the Rockford Circle.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
So, Shantanu, we've given you such an amazing introduction, I know, and you must be used to amazing introductions. But I have another one for you. So, Shantanu, your grandfather was a police officer in Morena and he has fought dacoits.
Yes.
Your father was the CEO of Tech Mahindra, brother Yash Deshpande, who was ranked top 100 in JEE.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a family of overachievers.
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely fit in.
No, not at all.
You definitely do
Yeah, I look in the
now.
mirror, I see a black sheep looking back at me.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. I'm very conscious, Chitrangada, of privilege. I was born to well-educated, resourced parents who actually had built their lives out of lower middle class India. So this was born in the 50s, 60s, post-independence. They were, they built their careers in the 80s and 90s when salaries were much lower.
Yes.
What was the movement of lower middle class to middle class India? My parents spent a lot of years in the US. I was born there. So I was very
Right.
silver spoon in mouth situation. So I had a lot of the resources, books, access to schools, internet.
Literally, it is like a Deshpande sauce, like some secret sauce that you people been on, or
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but what is that one thing that probably ties all of you together?
I think the sauce is, two things. One is we don't take ourselves too seriously. If I look at my parents, I see parents now, or I remember my friends, like the parents would make them do homework, send them to 20 classes, Olympiad preparation, this, that. Like my father oftentimes would not know what my scores in the exams were. Not that he was careless, but he was very chilled out. The second thing was like we had a very high amount, and I'm appreciating this a lot more now. We have a very high risk appetite. My dad, for example, left his CEO job at the age of 50. So he was CEO of Tech Mahindra from 1996 to 2002. At that time, Tech Mahindra was a small company, Chitrangada. It was, I think, sub 50 crores in revenue, built it to 600 crores, exited that, sat us all down and said, you used a certain lifestyle. I'm going to take a year-long break, figure it out. In all likelihood, we're going to put our savings back into the company. He started a company called Mojo Networks to become an entrepreneur in 2002 in India, when there was no VC funding and very little. So he left a CEO job and a cushy lifestyle with international vacations and good cars and homes and all that.
Also, this is the time when I don't think people were so much in talking about being an entrepreneur or starting off or taking risks, because that was probably the safest time of careers. 80s and 90s was the time when everybody went in, had safe careers.
नौकरी लो,
बस.
गाड़ी चाहिए, तीन कमरे का मकान है, 2 गाड़ियां हैं, बच्चे स्कूल जा रहे हैं, सही है, good.
Settle.
Hold on to your job.
Yeah.
So I saw my dad build a company from age of 50 to age of 65.
That's quite a boat to be on.
Yeah.
All of you together.
I've seen that happen, right? So for me to think leaving a cushy job at McKinsey or to start up, etc., people are like, how did you take that risk? And all of that stuff. And I'm like, really? Really?
Listen, I was in my diapers and my dad was doing this.
No,
like,
there's zero cost to it, right?
Right.
You don't have to overthink it. Like it's easy to do. Like for me, it was easy to do. I recognize I'm very lucky to be in a position
no,
where
but
it is
I
easy
think
to
it is quite amazing because for you, it's probably a habit to take risks now because you've seen your parents do it. But kudos to them. I
Yeah.
think that really says a lot to parents who are watching this, that, sometimes the best examples are set by themselves instead of teaching them,
Correct.
oh, do this is right. I think kids learn the best when they see their parents doing something right or wrong. But that's just amazing. Okay, coming to your academics. 9-year-old moves here with an American accent, goes to a government school. No more English.
Yes,
You're talking English.
Yeah,
You're thinking Marathi.
Academics is a very
Love-hate
by the way
relationship.
thing.
It's something you have to get back.
Yeah, no, I love it. I appreciate it. I think it plays a role in my life. I am not great at it, and I don't prioritize it in my things to do.
Okay.
And I recognize the value, like a lot. Like I think there is a lot of value for certain professions.
Yes, yes.
But for a business school student or for someone who wanted to be an entrepreneur, I think the width was just as important as the depth. And width of experience.
Experience, life.
So sport taught that to me a lot. I didn't realize it then.
Sports.
Yeah. Teaches you so much about team spirit, about
It
being
teaches you
competitive.
so much about yourself.
Being competitive.
Yeah, self-worth and a sense of self-worth and competing and everything. I think it's probably the best character building that you can have.
I was talking to the founder of a company called SBNR, an IT Delhi boy, okay? And I asked him, what's your favorite moment ever? And I thought it would be something to do with raising capital or something to do with family. But it was about hitting 5 sixes in an inter-hostel match in IT Delhi. He's a 33-year-old, fully grown adult male.
Which is yours?
My favorite moment ever? It's a very good question. 2011, February 27th.
All right, that's specific.
Yeah.
Now you're specific.
I was graduating from IIM Lucknow, and I was academically not a good student. To get a job offer from McKinsey, one of only 2, the best job at my campus ever, and I was one of those 2 kids. My whole batch was like, he's rigged the system.
This is definitely, fixed.
Yeah, and Gautam, the guy who made the offer to me at the time, is today the Asia chairman for McKinsey and an investor in my company, by the way.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
All 3 of my interviewers are today investors.
So listen, I mean, if I was to ask you, like, of course this worked for you, and I guess you're a bit of a natural yourself in a lot of other ways, but if you were to give a suggestion, do you think formal education really makes so much of a difference? It does.
Absolutely. Yeah? I think formal education makes a lot of difference. I think it's a worthwhile pursuit. People who cleared the UPSC, they know how to deal with failure. They know how to deal with micro chances. They know how to deal with competition. It builds tremendous muscles. Preparing for the IIT, I failed at it twice. But I know the muscle it built. Yeah, I failed at JEE twice, We have, kind of really hyped up this whole dropout culture. And the reason people drop out, and people don't realize this, they drop out of Harvard or IIT because they have found a new ecosystem where the people they're surrounded by are even better. Not because of the education, but you have to surround yourself by people who challenge you and are better than you substantially at things that you respect.
So for someone who's living under a rock, what is Bombay Shaving Company? Yeah,
so Bombay Shaving Company is a company founded in 2016 by myself. It started off as a premium shaving business. The fundamental thesis was it's a monopolized market with a single large, very successful player in the shaving space. But men are becoming more conscious about the way they look.
Okay.
You need to look good, but you don't know how to articulate that need.
So if you just had to put it for me, like, so that I get my 3 lines, what do men want?
Men, and this is I'm broad brushing a very, very complex topic, but I think the ability to accept and love yourself in your own skin so that you can feel like you're the best version of yourself. We are a growing country where men continue to be conditioned to take responsibility of the family. It's one of the positive things of patriarchy. You want to provide for people you love.
Moving on, as the founder of the Bombay Shaving Company, which is making so much of a difference to how people look, does that put any kind of pressure on you, on the way you look or present yourself?
Yes.
It does?
I have typically been, and you will see this from the way, even today I don't really make an effort to look different from my natural self. And I used to, like 2-3 years back, my mom included, कि तू तो grooming company का CEO है, तू खुद कैसे रहता है, etc., right? And it used to bother me a little bit because I am not the kind of person who puts stuff on my face or accessorizes a lot or wears very flashy clothes. I'm not.
So there's no pressure on you?
It used to be there, but I suddenly realized that we actually want people to feel comfortable in their own skin the way they want to. You do you, we'll help you be the best you. That's the important thing. You don't have to be Shantanu, you don't have to be Chitrangada, you don't have to be messy or whatever. You have to be you. So
you have a prolific presence, on the social media, and you're very active. Don't you think the social media and the fact that you're running a company and you're so much out there, does that put any kind of pressure on you?
It used to. It doesn't anymore. I feel like I have earned the right to have an opinion and to publicly say it because people derive value when I express myself honestly and with authenticity. I said explicitly, people between 22 to 27 years of age have younger parents, lesser liabilities, and hence have far more time to invest in their career at a formative time. So work 18 hours a day, leave everything on the field, and don't worry about work-life balance at that time.
But you got trolled a lot.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
I think it also says a lot about you as a person who's honest and, doesn't have fake or pretentious statements to make so that you look correct. I think that's something that we suffer from a lot more than speaking their mind.
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I I totally
Yeah.
believe in it. Like,
Yeah.
if you are smart, and by the way, the best answers come out of disagreement. The best answers come when people with intent speak their minds.
Is there anything else about the work culture that you encourage or have?
One of our core values, Chitrankada, is to make people successful. And we say, everyone says it. Ki yaar, you need to be successful. You are working at my company. But success means financially successful. Financially successful means understanding what financial success is for the other person.
Yeah.
It could be different for you versus me. For someone who has children,
It's a very different definition.
कि what is your loan कितना है घर का?
Correct.
मम्मी के पास कितने पैसे हैं? कोई medical emergency है क्या? तो इतने पैसे चाहिए. So that is success.
You really look out for all that.
Oh, and not only me, my people who are managers in the company have to know this about their employees, about their reportees.
They have to. Not imperative, but you must.
No, you must. You are managing the person. That doesn't mean telling them what to do on a daily basis and checking their documents.
Listen,
no.
I have to shake your hand on this. This seriously is about human values. This is what builds a work culture, not just sitting in a boardroom and fancy words. I think this is really something.
Everyone wants a great culture, but no one really knows how to playbook it.
Yeah. I can't take my eyes off this, what you have on your arm.
Oh, this?
Does this come from some, I really want to ask
this
what
is my
this
most recent tattoo. This is called the Tree of Life. So the roots are what anchors you, your home, your values, your people, right? This is me, and this is
swinging.
Yeah, our core value, Chitrangada, is speeds and terra et cetera visus, which is feet on the ground, eyes on the stars.
Okay.
You have to be humble, but humility cannot temper your ambitions.
Make you content.
Yeah, or dream lower.
Right.
Dream big, feet on the ground. So that's me, and the birds are about freedom.
That's just
really cool.
Beautiful. It's so much fun talking to you. And now I'm going to change the pace a little bit. I'm going to ask you the question. So the section is called Rockford on the double.
Okay.
Which means it's a quick one.
Okay.
First one, the thing you spent money on after your massive payday.
My parents traveling business class unconditionally, anywhere, always.
Worst advice you received before starting BSc.
Hire fast, fire faster. Stupidest thing I've ever heard. People keep thinking it's like this very smart thing to do. It's the stupidest thing to do.
It just sounds cool. It's bad.
It screws everything on culture you'll ever do.
Okay. A business decision you regret making.
I think moving away from shaving and getting into many categories at the same time was a very, very poor call by us.
Okay. What do you have that other entrepreneurs don't?
So my ability to not care is a lot higher.
That's what?
I don't care. क्या हो जाएगा यार? बंदी हो जाएगी ना कंपनी. Worst comes to worst, बंदी हो जाएगी ना. घर जाके दाल रोटी तो खाएंगे ना. But for a lot of people, that's like unacceptable and stressful.
So does nothing fear you? Like, what is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is disappointing people I love.
Okay, so one young entrepreneur to watch out for, in your opinion?
Mudit Vijayvargiya, the founder of SBNRI. Again, building a company for NRIs to invest back in India's growth story, which is very difficult apparently, and he's done a fantastic job to tech to do it. There's a woman called Neha Motwani who used to run a company called Fraternity. She sold it to CureFit. Okay. And she just reached out last week because she's starting her new company. I'm not sure I can say this, but she's starting in the healthcare space through a very personal experience she has had. And I'm really excited about that because she's a fantastic entrepreneur. We have common investors. I've heard so much about her. I've not obviously worked with her, but I think she's awesome.
Let's come to a wildest party story.
It was not a wild party story. It was just like a series of events. My first day at McKinsey was a McKinsey office party. And you know, right? Getting into McKinsey was like very difficult for me. And so the first day was a values day party, ironically, where you have to show values. But we all got pissed drunk. And then the next day I had a flight in the morning, which I missed. My first day of work, I missed my flight. And it was a Bombay Udaipur flight. Because Udaipur was where my client was.
Oh, it was a work?
It was a work flight.
Oh, okay.
I had to wear formals and go to work.
Okay.
And join my project. And I missed the 5:30 a.m. flight, so I took the 10 a.m. flight. At 11, I landed. I went to work, and I realized I'd exchanged my laptop at the security line with someone else at Bombay airport.
Oh my God!
So my McKinsey laptop had gone.
Okay, great.
So I'm sitting at 12 o'clock. My manager's pissed off that I've come late. I missed a flight, wasted money, came late. Now I've come with the wrong laptop. I took the 3 p.m. flight back.
Oh my God!
I'm hungover through all of this, by the way. This paints me in very bad light, I realize, but...
No, it looks like you're a fun guy. No, got into a bad...
Indisciplined, yeah. I took the 3 p.m. flight back, went to the Bombay airport, lost and found, exchanged the laptop. The person I'd exchanged with, poor guy, he missed his flight because He realized he had, like, his laptop
There was no
missing.
point in, oh God.
He waited there at the airport. But he found out that, okay, some dude has taken it to the airport, is coming back in the afternoon. Then I took the 5:30 a.m. flight the next morning.
And you went for the meeting then?
Then I went for, like, I had to go Monday to Friday. I ended up going Tuesday to Friday. But that was my first day in McKinsey, so yeah.
Okay, now we come to what would you do if you are caught napping in a board meeting?
If I'm feeling sleepy, I actually will tell them
Hey,
that,
Shantanu, what's up? Why are you sleeping?
hey guys, can we just take a 15-minute break? I'm just kind of phasing out right now. And
What,
just
you
need
think I'm
15
that
minutes.
boring?
No, it's not you. It's the whole, it's a board meeting, right?
No, because I'm the one who's talking and you're sleeping.
But it's, yeah, but yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Out. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, a friend wants you to fund his really bad startup idea.
Oh, I say no very blatantly.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I tell them that you should thank me for from stopping you from doing this nonsense.
Yeah.
By the way, friends have really shitty ideas, especially after some drinks. So one thing for entrepreneurs is get ideas when you're drunk, evaluate them when you're sober. And evaluate them for 6 months. The idea has to seem good for 6 months before you do it. It can't be a couple of drunk nights with friends. I've seen a lot of people do this, by the way.
Yeah.
कि दारू पी के, oh wow, ये idea, ये फरा नौकरी छोड़ के चालू, अरे यार, थोड़ा तो सोचो ना यार, थोड़ा तो सोचो.
I think that is amazing. That winds up this particular segment, and we are now going to move on to the next one.
Okay.
So, Shantanu, here at the Rockford Circle, we believe in giving back. So, I am now going to take you to the mentor's den.
Okay.
We've crowdsourced a list of questions that the next generation of professionals have asked us to ask you.
Okay.
What is the best testing ground to check if my startup idea has legs?
I think there are 3-4 broad litmus tests, okay? Number one is the market large enough? Or is it going to be large enough? And you have to have tremendous conviction on either of these two. Number two, why do you as a founder have the right to win in that market? And number three is, do you have the ability to attract capital and people?
How do you reach out to people, build relationships without trying to look desperate, hold your dignity, still go out there and ask for work and not look like you're desperate?
So the best way to do that is to invest in a network and then find 1 degree of separation to the person you want to reach to. For example, I wanted to reach the Tata Consumer CEO. I have no idea who the guy is. I asked my banker, who is this person? Sunil D'Souza. Like a Tata Group, okay, Mr. Ramdurai is my investor, TCS CEO, senior guy. But I've done enough for Mr. Ramdurai over the last 8 years for him to say, okay, Shantanu, you want to meet Sunil? Sure, he's my friend. Let me make a warm connect from a place of respect.
Yes. When is it time to move on from an idea? How do you know when to quit?
Because it's a very important decision to make. I think you should walk away from a bad idea or a bad company when you start feeling that you are not yourself anymore.
You're not yourself anymore. Okay.
And it's taken the happiness out of
I think
life.
That's what it is. If it's taken the joy out of doing it and you're just doing it to prove ABC or yourself, I think that's when it's time to move on.
For long enough.
For long enough, yeah.
I would put 3 to 6 months.
Really? I was just going to ask you how long.
3 to 6 months. If you're unhappy for 6 months, it's a lot. People don't realize 6 months is 25 to 27 weeks. It's a long time to be unhappy.
Yeah, definitely. But sometimes you want to be in love with the idea and get bored enough and still carry on working at it. Don't you think?
Entrepreneurship is very boring.
Yeah.
People think entrepreneurship is an exciting thing. No, 98% of the time you're doing very boring stuff.
Yeah.
Boring is fine.
Yeah.
Unhappiness is very extreme.
What are the non-negotiables for starting a business?
An idea which you have conviction in for the next 10 years. Number 2 is, I have plan B, plan C, plan D articulated out. People glorify not having a plan B or not having a plan C. I think it's stupid. Third is, I think, an ecosystem of mentors. I think that's non-negotiable. Entrepreneurship is never done alone. Not investors. You can bootstrap your business. Not even team. You can build solo businesses through proprietorships. No problem. Team you can hire and be transactional. Some entrepreneurs are purely transactional, so it's okay. But an ecosystem of mentors so that your direction, entrepreneurship, you don't need a lot. You need some effort, a little bit of luck, and a lot of direction. Yes, I think people who have your best interest at heart and will kind of keep you on track.
Yeah.
Very important.
And you have to find the right voice that will tell you the right thing.
Yeah, you don't need 10. You don't need 20. You need 2.
I think that is so interesting because sometimes what happens when you start up, entrepreneurs starting up, you want to ask everybody whether you're doing the right thing or not. And I think that's very important. You must make a choice who you want to listen to, who not. And that is common sense, I suppose.
In situations of like entrepreneurship where the risk reward is so, the alpha is so high, you can't be democratic or consensus driven.
Yeah.
Internally with your teams or with your
Yeah.
mentors.
Yeah.
So for a large number of people, they'll always give you an average answer. But average answers are poor answers for an entrepreneurial setup. You want world-class answers.
Correct.
So you always
Correct.
index on 2 or 3 people, that's it.
Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Coming to the end of this, but I also want to know, like you did say what success means to a lot of people. What does success mean to you?
Success is not about my net worth. I want people who love me to be infinitely proud of me.
I think that's amazing. Thank you so much. So this brings me to the absolute end of this chat that we've had, where I am going to ask you to write for us your mantra, your like a Shantanu Deshpande original, if I may say, for us right here.
Yeah.
For the wall of inspiration that we have. It's called the Rockford Wall of Inspiration, where you're going to inspire so many people who are watching this. I really want to read what you've written.
Yes.
Identify good people. Do everything you can to make them disproportionately successful. Ask them to do the same, and your world becomes a better place.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this definitely deserves to be on that wall and more in everybody's lives, and I don't know, screenshots, screensavers, amazing. But I especially like the fact that you say disproportionately successful.
Yes.
You make them and then tell them to pass it on.
Yeah. So the framework for this is identify, coach, empower, incentivize. Identify, coach, empower, incentivize. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
And you do this.
I try. I'm surely not successful.
Listen, this is too inspirational. I mean, if people can do half of this, I think
It's very powerful,
it's just too powerful. I mean, it's just almost impossible for me to imagine something like this. But if it does, which is why we must now go and put this on the wall.
Yes, I would love to. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Come.
Should I do it?
Yes.
Awesome.
Looks nice. Thank you so much, Shantanu, for coming here.
My pleasure.
And it was such a lovely chat with you.
My pleasure entirely.
And you didn't bore me at all.
I hope so.
No, but thank you. I just had so much to learn today from you. It was just fantastic. I hope that you guys have also learned something today. I certainly have, and I have so much to think about and chew on. See you next time for another episode of the Rockford Circle.